Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a lot of expansion and exploration across the world, as, like I have said a couple times before, it is the age of exploration currently. We saw a couple new countries form, most notably a lot of countries in Asia, but also a few countries in Africa and Europe. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So firstly, I forgot to turn that on. So firstly, coming over to Europe, we see, or not Europe, Africa, we see the countries with claims in Africa continue to slowly expand into the Saharan Desert. They don't usually go by much, and today this is no different. Make sure they explore all of that. All of this land here will be explored, although over by the Nile River, it will be slightly different, where more land is explored than in the other areas, just due to how the Nile River is, like, I guess, a safe spot, but not entirely. In the Arabian Peninsula, however, more is discovered here as they're more built for like, this area, especially in the southern parts, as you see the green country greatly exploring this area. So it's the orange and blue countries up here. Eventually, we will get to the point where there's very little of the Arabian Desert left unexplored as the countries explore all of this. Um, in the in Europe, we see the countries discover more and more of where Russia is. The most of it being done by Russia and Crimea. However, Caucasia, Estonia, and even Denmark help in the discovery. However, Denmark will mainly focus on exploring the lands in the north, as well as exploring all of that there. Now, for the biggest event of the episode, maybe even the biggest event of the entire series up to this point, you see a couple ships, say a major from this major city. It's a port city. It's got a port. They're trying to get to the orange team over here. They know that it is southeast of them. However, they also know they can't go through here. There is no Suez Canal yet. However, the blue team does realize that, hey, if we build a canal here, that means we can have other ships pay us to go through here and go up to here. So they build that. They attempt at building it. Don't get it built yet. So the ship, knowing they have to go, knowing they would have to go south at least, are going to set off, kind of mapping their way as they go. They set off right here as they explore southwards. They get roughly to where roughly to the same, I believe, latitude. as the orange team. They're not exactly there, so they will keep a slight south angle. Then they explore eastward, and they keep going and going and going eastward, and just keep going. After maybe 4-5 months, this area here discovered. They land in the northern parts of Florida, discovering the waters around here as well as land itself. Seeing as it is more of a it is warmer down here, they will decide to explore up the coast, and eventually they meet up with the North American countries. And as this happens, they they will send some people back on the roughly same route back to the pink team and say, "Hey, we found new land and new countries." They're not at all sure where they are. It could be down in Africa. It could be maybe even in Asia. They don't know. But in reality, they just discovered a continent that is completely new to them. The people that were left here, there are three groups of them. There is the group that is up here. There's the group that got sent back. And there's the group that stayed in the Floridian Peninsula. They will explore around here, and this begins the colonization of the Americas. I believe this is one episode earlier than when it started in Ada's Prose series. But anyway, they discover more of the Floridian Peninsula, almost discovering down to the Everglades. They will also explore more land out into like Louisiana, other states that are here. I think Mississippi is like in that area. But eventually, they will set up the colony by the pink team. They'll claim this land for the pink team. And something I'm just now realizing is they've discovered the Americas before they've discovered East Asia. Not how it worked in real life, but it's gonna have to work like this in this series. After a few days back in the pink team, and uh, eventually word will spread to other countries around them, notably the purple team sends their ships out. They attempt at following the same route. They get a little lost, and their compass breaks or whatever. They don't know where they end up. They don't know where they're going. And they end up in this area here, kind of by where modern day Halifax, Canada is. They will discover all of this land around here. Um, like Nova Scotia, uh, some island. But they'll discover this land here, and they will claim it for the purple team. Build all of this land. And we see other countries decide to start a colony. The Siam team, they'll come over, they'll start up a small colony right in this area, next to the red team. But it's not just in North America we see the colonies starting, or longer distance colonies, not just like across the Mediterranean. You see the Dark Cyan team, they start up a colony down here in like West Africa. Eventually, hearing about the land down here, the Dutch team is like, oh, what if there's also land up here? We know there's not connected, or we don't think there is any connected to Europe up here, but maybe it's connected to down here. So they will explore north and discover Greenland. They'll set up base. They will discover all of this land and set up a colony right here. They will also be claiming over the rest of Iceland. Now we see, like I said, the start of longer distance colonization. But that's not the only major event we see happening in this episode. As first new layer, first, yeah, we see the trade routes layered up here. As the first major trade routes startup, and it will be going. It goes from the capital of the of Kaliningrad to this major city, to this major city, slightly through the yellow team, and down into this very familiar area, following a decently familiar route. And if you look at provinces, you can kind of see it's almost the same route as back a couple episodes when Kaliningrad and Crimea were attempting to discover the land between each other. It kind of follows that route entirely. But we see this trade route not just go from there to reach across these major cities. The small branch will go down into the Crimean capital, and the we see the trade route continue north to the capital of Estonia and continue west. Eventually, it will reach over to the capital of Denmark and Dutch team. And this isn't the only spot we even see trade routes forming, as another trade route will start from the Caucasus country, their capital, and will reach over to the capital of the purple team, and will also reach down, taking it to Mesopotamia, and eventually up into Azerbaijan. And lastly, we also see a new trade route for here, simply running from Myanmar through this stretch of land and up into the capital of the South Chinese country, and down to the capital of Vietnam. that will be it for the traitor ups. They will continuously expand throughout the later episodes. And player. They seem to do that a lot. We see India continuing to explore along the coast, and eventually they will discover that Myanmar exists. They knew this land existed, they did not know a country formed there because they came over to here before it existed. In the in Southeast Asia, Thailand will discover, or the Southeast Asian countries altogether will discover more land into this central Southeast Asia, as well as Thailand discovering more land down the Sumbing Peninsula. Over here, we see the Persian nation discover more land across the, I forget what this bay is, across the Indian Ocean coast, reaching into areas of India, and eventually they will stop about right in here. But we also see the Indian nations will discover up the coast, and finally, after so long, all 5 of the starting areas are connected. The only one being overseas, being Americas to Europe and Africa. But, I mean, there's no land bridge between Europe and North America. So, and now, just pretty much like every other episode I've done, I'm going to do a small treaty to divide up the land. That will be the last event of the episode. We see more discovery into the Americas first. More and more and more of this land continues to be discovered. And we have 2 new countries joining in on colonization. The first country to join in on the colonization will be Switzerland. They'll send their ships out through the Strait of Gibraltar, and they will make a small landing down in Florida, and they will claim what is left of it. They will also claim and discover the Bahamian Islands. Is that the right? Bahamian? I don't know. And the other country that will make a landing in North America is going to be Yellow French country. Similar to Purple France, they will discover an area a bit further out from the other countries, discovering Newfoundland, and they will be claiming all of the land they just discovered. We see the Purple Team and France eventually discovering more and more of the land around them. All of this land here being discovered. And then winter comes around. And it gets cold. And pretty much everything is halted or slowed significantly. But the Purple Team will still be able to eventually discover the Yellow Team, and France will as well. have a very good idea for later on in the series, but for now, we'll do the normal end of the video peace treaty. So here we have the treaty. There's a lot less expansion than normally, but we do have a couple new countries. Start off in North America, where firstly, a small land trade is done over here, and the straight line curse is occurring. Countries will now start making, or more specifically, the European colonizers will start making straight line borders. It's terrifying, but we're gonna have to live with it. As firstly, one of the countries has decided that, or one of the unnamed countries, you guys can decide which one started it. It has to be a colonizer, though. Decided it is a great idea to do straight line borders because then much easier to follow and probably easier to defend too in case of war. So I'll let you guys decide whichever country started it in your opinion. It happens with a lot of countries. Pretty much all current colonizers are affected by it. The only one that actually isn't entirely, although this is kind of straight, is the Dutch team, because currently there are only colonies of Greenland. Denmark will be getting all of this. We have Estonia, also annexing the St. Petersburg area, and Russia will be claiming for quite a lot, being all of this land. Despite being Russia, they are limited currently. And the Caucasia will be getting that though. Crimea got what they got. The blue team will be getting these three pieces of land here. Mesopotamia will be getting land in Arabia. We see a new dark red team forming right here. We also see the Ethiopians claim over that for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just had them do it. The blue team will annex these bits here. The orange team claim over this as well as up here. And the purple team claim over this here. The green team will claim over this. Before I forget, there will be a pink country down in here. I can just the color of it there. And as I did with the other few things like this, I'll go back and add capitals to all of the countries. The orange team, click that. The purple team, getting that. Myanmar, Burma, or the third orange team in Asia, fourth orange team, fifth orange team in Asia, be claiming sixth orange team in Asia. I need less orange teams. The blue team will be getting that. Vietnam will be annexing this land here. And lastly, Cambodia will annex that land there. And like I just said I would see the capitals of all the new countries. Uh, this, I know they're not Pakistan, but I'm gonna call them Pakistan. I know this is like Indian land, mostly. The pink team will have their capital there. The red team there. Um, where did I form new countries? Where else did I form new countries? I think those were the only ones. Because these are all colonies. So, that will do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.